All right, we got about a minute and a half before we get started. How are you today, Sid?
Good. Getting ready for Christmas.
Yes.
Santa Claus is coming.
Is he? Yeah, we're trying to play catch up. We just got back from vacation, so.
I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
I just got to let you know, John, we got a minute agenda for a motion we passed on that.
Was it different price?
Yeah, it went up about $2,999.50. So, yeah, it's actually right there. Should be, oh wait, where am I?
15, you got 15 seconds.
We don't need to amend it. We're on the air right now.
Well, I mean, do I get a motion?
Yeah, but we don't have to change the agenda.
Yeah, there was a little bit of, what you call it?
All right, it's 8 o'clock. I call the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Roll call for attendance, please. John, roll call. Yes.
Yes.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So would you like to lead us?
Thank you. Shall we pray? Dear Lord, we thank for this Christmas season that you've given us in Brimfield. And we thank you for the participation and the programs we've been able to do to emphasize that you really came as a gift. We ask, Lord, that you would be with us in this meeting, that we would make good decisions and we would put the residents first. We thank you, Lord, for your many blessings. In thy name, amen.
Amen. All right, next up is announcements and correspondences. Does anybody have any announcements or correspondences?
Well, I'm just gonna tell everybody, I did go down and I was invited to talk to the third grade at Brimfield Elementary School, and it was a wonderful time, and Dave brought down a truck. Kids love the truck. But great opportunity, and they really want to speak with Cassie. They want her to come talking to them about parks. So thanks for coming down, Dave. You were the hit.
Oh, no problem.
So, I probably shouldn't have told them about snowplow sitting hitting dogs.
Yeah, that one, you brought that up.
So now we'll probably have little kids laughing there. So, but yeah, it's a great opportunity. And I think, John, you want to get out there and talk to them sometime.
Talking more one day.
I told him,
John,
John's
like
the most,
Larry with me, and then we'll go and really get bored.
I told him that John and Dave were the most important people in the township because John's like our mother who controls the purse string. So it was all good. Great opportunity.
All right.
I want to share that I'm very honored to attend the DARE graduation at Suffield. There are something like 70-some students just in the 5th grade. But I appreciated it. The kids are all proud and very well behaved, and I really appreciate that. Good deal. Thank you, Chief.
All right. Any other announcements or correspondences? All right. Hearing none, we'll move into our meeting guests. Mike Collins, floor is yours, sir.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Jenkins. I'll start, and he'll tell you all the financial stuff.
Okay.
About some engineering. Larry Jenkins, Chief Deputy County Engineer. During the last few weeks, we've been talking about closing out some of your public works projects. We had to come here and get some signatures and get some reimbursements, and then we also want to talk about how the kind of a new method that we're going to roll out in terms of not having to fully fund the construction engineering and admin up front. We're going to move into asking for reimbursements of 50% share from Public Works. So Mike will explain that a little bit and kind of go through a little bit of the paperwork that we have. The first project's Howe Road Culvert. That was a shared project with the city of Talmadge. It's been going on for a number of years. It has not been maybe very speedy, but it is complete. We have resurfacing from Mogador past the industrial park's entrance, new culvert. We're able to get new curb and gutter there for all the truck traffic that comes and goes. And I think the project turned out really well. It came in under budget and is complete. And Winter's Excavating did a really good job on that project. So that project, I think, was from a couple years ago. Last year's project would have been Cascades, the resurfacing at Cascades Boulevard. I want to thank Dave for his hard work out there. Traffic control was a really big issue for us, and that was one of the main hurdles that we had out there. Because of how Public Works, the way that it goes is you actually do not get to award the contract till after July. So a paving project after July is really tricky. You have to make sure that you really, really work hard and get a good contractor and make sure we can get everything paved. And then the important thing is putting down the pavement markings near the end. And that was accomplished. The contractor worked really well, and we got pretty lucky with some really good weather. One of the things that Dave had some concerns about that drove this project, obviously so much traffic, and we wanted to get it done, and obviously a share from issue 2 or how Public Works, but we had some accident issues at one of those intersections about halfway back. So when you come into the area, you come in with 2 roads, 2 side by side at the end of the boulevard, then it's almost like a free-for-all right there. You're really not sure what you're supposed to do. And so Dave expressed a lot of concerns. So the engineering department looked at that, and our solution for that, you'll see a change that's up there. And we've added some dashed lines. What that means is you've got longer queuing links for that westbound through lane, and then a longer left turn lane. But it's a safer situation. During the Black Friday shopping and stuff, traffic, there's just a lot of traffic. And so I think it's a good solution for us, a much safer solution. And we're gonna look at that and see how it turns out. So if you see the change, that's why it's there. It's to minimize those side swipes that we were getting and a lot of concerns that he had. So I think that project turned out really, really good. It also came in under budget. Our Beacus Construction performed that contract for us. And Mike's gonna also kind of go through the financials on that and the signatures that we need, and then how we're kind of changing the funding mechanism so that the township doesn't have to front all of the construction engineering and construction design money up front. We're gonna shoot for a 50% share and just do a direct draw from how Public Works. It's a lot more work for fiscal officer, it's more work for us to do, but it's a much better alternative instead of being a bank for these projects. Let OPWC be the bank. So that's what we'd like to present to you. And then I also just want to update you on Klein Road's third OPWC project. That's this project. So Mickey's the district chair of District 7 for Ohio Public Works. And they just met back in November, and the final slate's been approved. So Klein Road is on next year's OPWC. It's not totally final, but everything is pretty close to being final on that. So we're going to turn in the final slate, and as long as that turns out well and nothing strange happens at OPWC, you guys should be able to fund Klein Road next year also. So I just want to kind of go through a couple of the engineering side of those 3 projects. And I'd like to turn it over to Mike, who really actually, as our project manager, is the glue that holds everything together. So he can discuss the financial side of it. And thanks for having us, and we really, really appreciate your time.
As Larry mentioned, Mike Collins, project manager at the county engineer's office, been working with Dave for quite a few years, and you guys for quite a while on these projects. Larry mentioned what John and Mike just signed was a disbursement request for Cascades resurfacing part of our Beacus. You guys will also cut a check for the local share of that. But on that back page, as Larry was mentioning, In the past, I've always had the township upfront 100% of the construction admin costs for OPWC projects, and then you file for reimbursement. We've talked with OPWC, and it's a little more paperwork on our end, but it's worth it, where OPWC, within the agreement, we have construction admin dollars at 50% rate. Why should the township upfront that money and file for reimbursement later? So what you'll find on Cascades is there's 2 lines there where you're paying Barbicus 50% rate, but QCI, which we hired on your behalf, is going to be paid directly by OPWC, the 50% rate instead of, I think it was only a little over $3,000 worth of inspection. Instead of you guys upfronting that 100%, $3,000, you're only paying half of that, and OPWC will pay QCI directly. Perfect. That's the first document that John and Mike had signed as CEO and CFO, along with Dave as the project manager on Cascades. We were very lucky with Cascades. Obviously, but as Larry mentioned, in July, unfortunately, this came in too high. We had a rebid project, and part of our major concern was that we use thermoplastic pavement marking. As Larry mentioned, you guys have a little over 12,000 cars a day that are coming through that boulevard. And normal pavement marking just isn't gonna hold up, and it's also, not as safe. The thermoplastic's the way to go on higher. That's what we use on Talmadge, and of course the other side.
Just the paint?
Just the paint, so you'll see it's a mill thickness, it's almost like, it's a thicker mill, 125 mil. If you were actually to get out, it's raised about this much.
You actually feel it when you drive over it.
That's good.
It's actually something that's supposed to be as durable as we can get. With the traffic out there, it's definitely needed.
And
Yeah. It's starting to feel like Chapel Hill Mall used to feel.
yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, the traffic control, we, working with Dave, it was a little complicated, but we got in relatively quickly. And as Larry mentioned, that drop left, that you all had concerns with the people trying to get over, turning into Walmart, going down to Kohl's. I think it's really going to work out well with those dash lines and letting people know that it's a drop left after that boulevard.
And we do recognize that it's gonna add a little delay there. But it's about safety.
Yeah. Looks great.
So that job turned out really well, and that'll be the final disbursement request for that project, and we'll close out your guys' end along with C. And then I will get you next year. We were under budget on construction admin also, with the 50% rate. So I'll get you guys back a check with unused funds for the QCI inspection services.
Okay.
Moving over to Howell Road, obviously that's been quite a little while since that project got out to bid and getting everything done. Working with the gas line company coming in right before construction, things of that nature were a little unique, but I think the project turned out really well that way. With that, you guys upfronted the design costs. You also upfronted all the construction admin costs. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about Cascades and how, as you guys will be getting a reimbursement of $25,000 worth of design, a combo of design and construction dollars. I'll get with Kirsten on that disbursement, but I have the packet of all the design costs, which we'll submit to OPWC and of course for your file, showing where the money was spent. And then also for construction admin, I'll have a file for that for you guys to take care of as far as your files go. And that'll be, I'll get with her this week. We have till the 20th, otherwise we have to wait till next year for the disbursement, but I think we should be able to get that sometime this week as far as that disbursement request. Now, even better, you have a cooperative agreement with the city of Talmadge you guys signed last year with a percentage split. So once OPWC reimburses you on OPWC's portal for payments, there'll be a warrant date. All I'll do is print out that warrant date and then supply all copies of the checks from Winners Excavating, along with the design with GPD, and then construction admin with OmniPro, and then we'll bill the city of Talmadge for their share. So you guys will be getting some additional dollars from them also, as a cooperative agreement you guys signed back in 21.
Can that agreement, not to interrupt, Mike, can that agreement with Talmadge go on other projects that we might do?
Absolutely. We do it all, we've done it with Talmadge on the Cascades project. we worked with the other counties, other cities within our jurisdiction that have split jurisdiction. Yeah, no, as long as, we want to make sure that our prosecutors and your guys' prosecutors are okay with the agreement template, which our prosecutors have approved it, but no, it's actually, it's a great avenue, and that's what you guys want to do. You want to have shares.
Well,
You
they're
know,
in
you
the
have
JED.
grant, you have the city of Talmadge, it helps everybody.
Well, and they get all the money from the,
Well, it
half
does,
the money
but
from the JED, so
I
it
mean,
helps us.
with the JED, I mean, one of the common themes is Talmadge just takes the money and runs.
Right, by doing it this way, we're
Yes,
getting.
they're actually helping bring some of the money back into the township.
Absolutely.
Because we have that M&I fund, and so it's good.
Yeah, no, I think you could easily use that template. It's honestly, it's pretty straightforward. It's a percentage split. We went off of the jurisdictional boundaries with Howell, because it's a unique situation where Brimfield kind of dives in and out a few places on that little section of Howell there.
If we were in Summit County though, would it work the border? Because there's a,
Talmadge or something.
well, I know, but I'm thinking access road to the
Part
park
for the park there.
is
Yeah.
a private drive that's there, but the only way we can get into the new parkland that we just got. So we have to work something out to,
So we did a resurface, I don't know if you guys know where Portage Line Road is,
Uh-huh.
that's on the county limits. We did a cooperative agreement with some county engineer on a paving job down there, where it's split boundaries. But I think that you guys can use that template as long as your guys' prosecutor would review and approve.
because we need their road to get to our property.
Unless we get an opening, but it would be, I think Cassie had mentioned that she was gonna reach out to Talmadge and start talking to their park and recs director. And we got that JED meeting, and that was one.
If we have an agreement already in place,
Right.
because we just have to
It'd be
add
great.
another project to it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great opportunity for you guys to have that conversation with them. And, finally, Klein has, Larry was the approved slate. We'll get, in January, we'll get with Dave and get a designer on board for that culvert. It'd be a lot easier than now. We're not doing any widening or gas lines or water mains or anything else out there. We do have a storm structure to tie into a little storm, but that's just a modified end wall, so that's not too bad. But we'll be getting with Dave, that will be slated for July 1st award as far as construction. We'll do very similar to what we've done before, bid it out in May, and then of course we can't award till after July 1st, but it's easily do a bid open.
That's the west side of Mogador.
No, that's Klein.
Oh, Klein.
Yeah, find down by
That,
Throwing
it's
out.
rusted, rusted out CMP that needs to get, because Klein, it's a lot.
And that's our access to the other park. You go a little bit over.
Have to go around.
Go over and put a parking lot there, is that what you're saying? On the side of the
I mean,
road.
it's just a stupid question, but, I mean, that's one of the things we need to do is put a parking lot. Is there, since we have the same, whoever we bid this out to, are we allowed to do a second bid for them to actually put in the parking lot while they're all there?
Yeah, so what we did, with our larger resurfacing project, which included paving Mogador Road out by, Rubber Maid and all that, we tied our OPWC, we got a grant on Talmadge Road out in Palmyra. You have to split the quantities, OPWC cannot pay for anything that is not within the scope that you applied for, but you can easily put the bids together.
Because I figure they're right there.
Because you're getting a better price. They're already there, not necessarily for a culvert, asphalt work, but we could look at it for you. But it has to be separate line items, and you just bill it separately.
Yeah, just a thought. I mean, Cassie and Dave, I mean, when we
Since
get to
you're there
that.
messing it up already, might as well just do it
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah, but question real quick, like, is it, you have to design the parking lot itself, or is there a parking lot and you're just resurfacing?
Well, there's
We'd
parts
have
of
some
something.
design.
Yeah.
It would have to be reclaimed, or somebody put asphalt grindings down way back when. So it just needs to be reclaimed, dug out. Probably, if you decide asphalt base and everything. So for like 10
So, yeah,
cars.
there's like two options there, like the option that he's talking about here. The other option is to go to the contractor after it's awarded and
Oh, okay.
see if they're interested in doing some additional work, because they are there. But it wouldn't be part of the contract. So those are a couple options you can do.
Right.
It really, I would just say it depends upon how much work you want to do in the parking lot and how much, is that going to slow down any of the process? Because it's the only thing you can.
We don't want to slow the culvert project down.
Right,
That's-
but you easily can put together a proposal to have someone do the parking lot independent of that too.
Okay.
Talking about construction, he's mentioning that obviously Klein's gonna go. Just want to jump back to the Cascades project. That project itself, in Mickey's long tenure, has never had to be rebid. So not only was your project rebid, 2 others were also rebid because of the crazy construction cost issues that we're dealing with right now. So never in his 30 years has he had to rebid 1, let alone 3. So it was a very, very challenging year, and we appreciate your understanding in terms of how that worked out. It ultimately worked out. We jumped right back on it, changed the specifications, and rebid that project. But it wasn't the only one. We had another township that we had to rebid, and then our own paving project had to be rebid because it exceeded 10% of the engineer's estimate, and by the ORC, we can't do anything about that.
Right.
So, but it's just an odd economy, odd everything we're in right now, and so we just appreciate your patience, and it's not something that he's ever had to deal with before.
Right.
But I just want to share that with you.
Well, offhand, how much did Talmadge contribute? I mean, I don't need exact numbers.
55%.
They're a little more because of the frontage or the center line frontage on Howe. That's
Was
how
it a
was.
dollar amount?
It's all percentage because we didn't know the
So-
dollar amount at the time.
So it was about 55%?
Yeah, and what I'll do is.
No, I don't need it. We got that JED meeting after this. I just wanted
Okay.
to let them know.
Yeah.
And one off the wall question, I think you're probably saving me a lot of phone calls. Every time I get off, because you're familiar with ODOT,
Absolutely.
why will they not put Brimfield Township on a sign? If you get off
Expressway.
76.
I'm so sick of seeing Talmadge and Kent. Why, Brimfield is the center of Portage County. Why are we not on the sign?
Good question. I never noticed that.
Well,
they've been
I
hard
heard
to
about it
on
at the, I hear it from people, and Brimfield should be on there, at least somewhere.
Yeah, right.
I mean, as much as I truly support our soldiers that, they name highways off, but why can't they put Brimfield Township?
Yeah, so there is a separate department that handles all sign requests and everything
From ODOT?
associated from ODOT.
So is
And
that
we'll
where
get you that contact.
Yeah,
So you'll have to start in that area and discuss how that is. It's strange, but as you know, in terms of, naming highways, obviously that's a long legislative process, but it's not that complicated in terms of other things, but the hoops and red tape are always there with ODOT.
Yeah, I don't know if it had something to do with us not having our own zip code but I mean, Brimfield, we're a lot of people here.
When we're trying to rebrand our town, if you see those monument signs that you have when you come to town,
Yeah,
so we
Mike
want to
Mike was involved with those. Those look really, really nice.
so we want everybody to know when you get here, you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you the contact of the person, and it just unfortunately might take you some time.
Hey, that's okay.
Going
At
up
least
that ladder.
I just don't know which direction to go.
Yeah, they actually have a separate department that deals specifically with that.
Well, thank
So
you.
we'll get you that.
Yeah, and thanks for being so helpful today. I hear your names often.
Well, if I can just jump in on that, not any of the past names or old names or anything, but you guys are spectacular to work with, from the fiscal office department, from the road, from all that. So thanks for making it easy for us.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it.
And bring on summer.
Yeah.
Let's skip winter.
Get out. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you so much.
You don't want to wait around for this meeting. You guys gotta go.
Thank you so much.
Hey, again, Mike, Larry, thanks for all the help. Tell Mickey thanks too.
Absolutely.
It does help a lot. I'll get you a list over my next things.
Sounds good.
All right, next, we have meeting minutes that need approved. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve meeting minutes for November 30th, 2022 public hearing and November 30th, 2022 regular meeting, and then we'll have a secondary motion for another meeting.
You were at all of those.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Nick was not at one of them, right? You weren't at the 12-2, right? Or no,
Mike was at the 2 11:30s that's on the floor right now.
you weren't at them.
Correct, so Sue made that
I
motion.
second.
All right,
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick,
Abstain.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
And then I'll entertain a motion for the December 2nd, 2022 emergency meeting.
So moved.
And I will second that.
And all those in favor, Mike,
Abstain.
Nick,
Yes?
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, next I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, open for discussion of any changes or deletions from the agenda.
I need number 2A under fiscal office for liquor permit.
Okay. Also, should we put on the agenda the organizational meeting date and decide that today? Because we only got one more meeting till the end of the year.
We should, it's the first Monday of the.
Well, or can we do them early too? Well, I guess we can talk about it once we get into it, but
Yeah, let's-
what do we put under admin?
Yep.
All right, admin 2A is going to be organizational meeting date. And we don't have to have a year-end closing meeting, do we, John?
We do not.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, hearing none, roll call for the agenda as presented with the following amendments: administration 2A organizational meeting and fiscal 2A liquor permit.
All those in favor, Mike? Yes. Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept the purchase orders.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion on that. John, you're going to look into the one purchase order for the fire vehicle.
We have the right account. Yep.
Yeah, on the account numbers.
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the warrants as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, we'll now open up the floor to public's comments and questions. Please state your name and address before addressing the board and limit comments to 5 minutes. The floor is open.
Bill Anderson, 2473 Acorn Avenue. I was just wondering with the new park, is Talmadge interested in taking some of their, tip money or whatever to kind of make that a joint Brimfield Talmadge park? Talmadge doesn't have that very.
I know
parks.
we're so early into this whole project. You know, so I did try to reach out to Dave Klein 3 weeks ago. He never returned my call, but I think he's got 1 foot out the door. So I think
So
they'll
you think
be,
he's not running?
I'm pretty sure everything I'm hearing he's not. So I think his term's up in a year. So I've approached him before about a joint police officer, a joint vehicle, and their answers were pretty firm. So, you know, there's talk that maybe Dennis Lowry might be running, you know, so I don't know if that would change the environment. But I mean, just seeing that they actually helped on this was pretty good. So, I mean, that's at least a small step. But yeah, I mean, now that they brought that thing up, I really, it'd be sort of interesting if we could work together. Because I know back when I was talking with Chris Grimm, and I mean, they really are short of parkland.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, the park's for everybody to use, not just Brimfield does
Right.
it. So yeah, I think that's a neat idea.
Everybody's gonna use it anyways.
Right.
It's a public park.
Unless we put a little
So,
guard check out front and get someone to work it.
yeah,
check
that's
Fridays.
why I was just thinking if they can.
That's why we were talking about the road. Because the road to get in there right now is actually in town, which was a
Right.
private drive, so we would need that paved. And that's where we would go to them and say.
Yeah, and then once you dedicate it, it's up to them to plow it.
And we're hoping to get Mike's he's trying to work, so we can get something by Coles to maybe sneak on back there. Because, that'd be 2 entrances probably isn't a bad thing.
Well, I think my concern would be the wishes of the family.
Right.
That would be priority for me.
And I'm pretty sure, their wish is for it just to be a park, so there's a lot of things we definitely have to look into. But I mean, it's such an opportunity for all of this area.
Yeah, I look at it as an opportunity to excel.
Yeah. We all gotta do a walkabout. Have you walked it yet?
No,
We gotta set one up and go.
I went back to it one day, it was too muddy. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing this.
Well, Cassie, if we ever set one up when it gets frozen, make sure Bill knows about it. So you come check. I want people to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a nice trail there. It's nice. Cause you do a lot of hiking, so
Yep. Yeah, I have a staff that has no more room for.
I'm going to get my staff today. I only give them out on Wednesdays for some account.
Yeah, you gotta go down the, what's that, Tree Road?
Well, there's 3 different locations you can get them. And the one's down by Summit Lake, and I'm a little worried about that area.
My staff's so thin, they're so old that it's got a bone to it. The ends wore off about 2 inches.
Well, just a throw out for Portage County Parks, they have the same kind of program.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly.
You can get staffs at the Portage County Parks too. Occasionally they have them, because that's where we get ours from.
Great opportunity.
Good, that's all I have.
See,
All right.
Bill wants to help with the parks.
All right, no other public comments. We'll move into safety concerns. Any safety concerns?
Oh, I have one for you, Nick.
All right.
All right, I just want to let the public know, we went out and tagged basketball hoops that are in the roadway right away. We need them to be moved away off the road, because our biggest concern is if one of them basketball hoops catches a plow truck and damages the truck, that takes the truck out of operation until we can get it fixed. And a lot of times, we're out at 3, 4 in the morning, it is hard to see during some storms, so we need the public to move them. We did tag them, as many as we've seen, with signs, please move out, move out of the road right away, get them.
Were there many?
If,
Were there many or?
yeah, 22 of them. So what we're looking at is next week, I'll give them a week. If the public doesn't move them, we will probably come and move them ourselves, but you can't, we're gonna try to do them gently, but there is some of them that are ready to fall apart, so they may fall apart, but with them being in the right of way, we need to get them out of there. So, because I don't want a guy getting, hurt, windshield get shattered or something, it does happen. I mean, some of the basketball hoops actually have metal chains. That's something else that can cause damage to a truck. I mean, summertime, we don't worry about it much, but this time of year, I need to have them moved out, so.
It's good.
All right.
Let me know how many actually.
I actually have a list. I had 17. We had to add 2 or 3 more.
No, how many actually move them out after?
Well, like I said, we have a list that's normally continuous. And normally, once we put a tag on, they move them, but there's always that 4 or 5. We move them, they put them back. We move them. So, like I said, the thing is, it could take a truck out of commission. It could hurt one of my guys. And I just want to get them off the roadways.
Good.
I mean, I don't want to have to pass a thing later on saying no basketball hoops on roadways at all, for even summertime, because let kids play basketball in the allotments. But to help us out, we need to move them out of the road right away for the winter.
All right. Hearing no other safety concerns, we'll move into the business portion of the meeting. Roy, Police Department, floor is yours.
Thanks. Just a couple of items for this morning. It'll be this Saturday at the Applebee's, followed by the shopping trip with the kids over at Walmart. Looks like we're gonna have about 50 kids that we're gonna be shopping that day. The second item is I need board approval for a purchase order in amount not to exceed $6,730. That's for the purchase and installation of systems for our men's locker room from Tiffin Metal Products. That's the same company supplier that supplied the original lockers when the station was built. We need to add an extra set of lockers because we don't have enough. We have some officers that are out without lockers, so we need to add some into that. So asking for board approval to make that purchase.
I'll make a motion to approve a purchase order in the amount not to exceed $6,730 for a set of 4 locker systems and installation from Tiffin Metal Products.
I'll second that.
All right. John, can you go with that in the budget?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Hey, Roy, how quickly will they put them in?
I'm not sure yet of the time. We'll find that out, but Sergeant McCarty did do a little work on street touch, but we had a couple of different quotes, and we may be a little lower than that number, depending upon which one we go with, but it would not exceed that amount. morning, other than I do have an executive session for you for the most part.
Okay. Any questions for police?
Yeah, thanks for showing up at that Christmas lighting. That was
Yeah, it's fun.
great seeing your smiling face there. We gotta get a police car. Put police chief on the back of it or something.
All right, we'll move into fire department. Floor is yours, Craig.
Okay, you can see our calls for service are a little bit up, as we said, we've been about the same all year, compared to last year. Past 2 weeks have been station build update, they poured the front, apron of the fire station on the, one side, and we'll go all the way across once the other side is done, but that won't be till later in the summer. Those tower stairwells almost done, rear curbs and sidewalks are poured. Roof continues to be installed, and they say windows are here, but I haven't seen them. So they said they're at Carter's, but I still haven't seen them. So that's really what's going on with that. It's slowed down a little bit. The roof is the main thing. They have been here steady every day. They get about double what they have, and they can't get anybody to work. So it's going slow for them. The only other event this Saturday and Sunday will be doing Santa on the fire truck. The flyer is posted on the Facebook page, and there will be updates on there as we get the list put together over the next couple of days. But gift delivery or gift taking in will be in today at 4.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Any questions or comments for fire department? All right, hearing none. We'll move into administration. We have new business, organizational meeting date. We need to set a meeting date for the new 2023 organizational meeting. John, do we have to do it in January? Can we just do it as an organizational meeting before the 28th? Because it doesn't take us long to do and just take care of it this year. Because I know Deerfield did it that way.
I do not know if we can do it.
I know Deerfield and Randolph have both already done theirs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why. Let me check. Kirsten, can you look that up real quick in the ORC just to make sure the 28th, if we can do the organizational meeting that day.
Can we set the inventory meeting also? That has to be by the 10th of the month. We're doing one, let's go ahead and do it all.
That would be a Monday meeting. Usually we would add, well, let's do this, Sue. Let's just wait on that until we can see if we can do the organizational meeting, because then we can schedule that, or we might just do them all on the same day if we had to. She's gonna look it up real quick here, though. Let's tentatively, Nick, you said they did do it.
Yeah, they've already done theirs. That's why I just brought it up. I was like, hey, if we could do it before ours, it makes it a little bit easier.
Never even thought about that. You want to just tentatively schedule it as a 28 if it gets approved, and then we'll just do it December 28th after our trustee meeting.
Yeah, we can do it after or before. However, it only takes, if we did it before the 28th. You want to do it 7:30 or do you want to do it in the?
Yeah, let's just do it during the regular meeting. We'll just do it after.
Okay.
When we finish, we'll just finish that.
And then go into organizational meeting? Okay.
So let's make a motion to schedule that.
So I'll entertain a motion to set the organizational meeting for December 28th.
I'll second.
2023. All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
motion passed.
providing the revised code allows it.
Sure.
All right. Anything else under administration? All right, hearing none, we'll move into zoning and economic development. Mike Ladd, floor is yours.
Thanks, Ken. First item I have is a request trustee approval for moving the zoning commission member per diem increase to 125. I believe the BZA was approved last meeting, and it's just a zoning commission at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna make that motion. Increase the fee to 125.
I'll second that for discussion. So, Mike, it's currently at what, 75?
75.
And what are the other surrounding townships and cities doing for theirs?
You know, I gave this to Mark and Denny to look around, and it varies from community to community. some are 75, some aren't, some are less than 75, and then there's obviously some that pay more. There was nothing that prohibited us to increase it. It's basically, the way how the revised code is written is basically up to you guys.
Okay. And 125 was your proposal?
Actually, mine was 100, and Mike upped it to 125 last meeting.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to understand why we were doing 125.
I mean, my thinking was the amount of homework they have to do with it, the time they spend here, we need to make it, I mean, it's not a job, but we need to appreciate our people that do this.
Right. No, I agree. We need to, obviously we appreciate all the work they do. I was just looking at it from a financials perspective too. All right. Other questions or comments? All right. Hearing none, roll call vote.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Abstain.
motion passed.
Thank you.
All right.
Next thing I have is Chase Banks, the plans are approved from the zoning end of it. Fire might have some concerns with the truck in the radius. I talked to Ron, it's not a problem with zoning if they do increase some parking on it, but the plans are approved from the zoning end of it. They do have some stacking for 8 vehicles that go around into their driveway, but it's no different for RVs or anything else that have it. So they look pretty good. It's a nice looking building. They should get started here this winter. Buford Brady's has changed. That's become the basement sports bar and grill. And then Brimfield Commons site work is near completion for the new shopping center. The signalization we'll be working with in the next 2 weeks as the county already approved it. Roadway paving is complete, and we have several interested options for the property right now. That concludes my report.
Hey, Mike, is Chase taking both of those lots over there?
It's 2 acres next to Myers Gas Station.
I thought those were originally 2 lots that were gonna be there.
It's one.
Well, that was gonna be
I think the whole
for
thing.
what, the over easy egg or something at one time?
Yeah, another Broken Egg Cafe was supposed to go there originally.
So that'll complete that whole frontage there.
Maple Crest on that side of the town,
Okay.
other than the industrial.
Thanks.
Mike, do you know if we have anything on 4088 Linwood Drive? I got a text from a guy before. I know we had talked about it months ago. When was the last time we talked about it? It's back in March. He says the trash is building up even worse. I don't know if you've been out there.
So that's the one, yeah, I think you gave it to me, that's the one of the dead end street there off 18.
Yeah, it's 4088, and he says he just doesn't see any movement on it, and the trash is just getting bigger.
So I believe we have second notice on there.
Okay.
First notice was that, and then it looked like they started cleaning up a little bit, and then it got worse again, so we were on second notice.
He said that the lady that owns the property is now in a rehab facility, so there's nobody there. I think that's his concern then too.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we're at second notice on that.
Second notice.
What's the address?
4088 Linwood Drive.
And we're in the process of going over the entire list from 2022. Lauren and I have been out. We get stopped a lot because of the signs. There's a ton of signs coming in for snowplow. We've been pulling. I think we're up to 300 of them that we pulled now. Just in, they're at the intersections. They're on, 76. They're on 18. It seems like any vacant lot they come, they throw like 30 signs up. So we keep pulling them as we go out. But we should finish up the list this week or next week for the entire thing and update it. That way we know who cleaned up, who didn't, and then we're gonna have a bunch of them coming before you guys to, for January to go forward with the prosecution.
Can you send the list over when you're done with it too? Just so I take a look at it. I appreciate that.
Well, you truly have made some cuts into this, just seeing there are properties that are improving.
We've got a ton of them that were approved this year. The one going in Portage Commons over by Brimfield Motors was one of them. We got the one by Outback with the big, I think it was 300 and some cars. I think 200 and some have been removed.
You've done a lot.
We've made some big improvements this year, which was a good year for them.
I mean, that Sandy Lake is cleaned up, the new house on Howe that they renovated. I mean, yeah, they're living there. They even have Christmas decorations on the front porch. So that's great.
I was walking away, but it was funny. I had one of my friends pull he just pulled them and brought them to my office, like I was gonna do something with them. All the snow shoveling signs that they had created.
I was just saying, we're up to 300 of those now.
He called the guy and he said it's freedom of speech. He could put it up. Like, really? That's what the guy from the snowplow place told me. Because he hit his yard with it. And then he lives on Brimfield, so he just.
He's putting them in the right of ways.
Yeah, Sunny Hall Golf Course got a huge stack of them.
Did he get over?
Yeah, right by the railroad track.
Well, that was his saying, that it was freedom of speech. He was allowed to put those up everywhere. So put them on your own property then.
That's right.
And then Mike, we were talking also about before the Kent Jed and some properties were in and out of it, and we were trying to figure out what happened with that. Where are we at on that project?
So that's all,
status.
from our standpoint, what we did is we got a list of businesses, went over the whole businesses with Kent, obtained it from Kent, went over it with Kent, and then we gave mapping of the entire area with all the businesses on the mapping from regional planning. Combine those, send them off to Kent, and then last meeting, Craig said he was going through with any questionable businesses because he has a list with the fire department of all active ones.
Okay. But so we still don't know if some partials, if they were split, if they got recorded correctly?
No, all of those were mapped, so, yeah, the one that was in question you brought to me.
Yeah.
they do map.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're catching any other, because there's still partials
Yeah,
to sell back there, that making sure that when they got split, that they were covered under the JED from the split so that we don't lose out on that funding.
So, you know, when I talked to Wilkie about that, that was the confusion on the Cleveland Clinic. When I got split off, he didn't think that they had to pay, but they were paying. But with the new mapping, we have all the splits that were done from 2005 to 2022.
Okay.
Okay, I have an update here. Per Article 6, Section 602 states the first Monday of January, that the organizational meeting has to be held. If the legal holiday falls on the first Monday, then it should be held the following day. And then the inventory meeting should be the second Monday of January.
I thought that's what it was.
So that would be the third, because we are closed for observation of New Year's on the second. So it would be the third Tuesday.
So
But the legal holiday doesn't fall on the first. I think we still have to do it on the second, just because we're closed.
Well, but the New Year's Day observation of the holiday is the second.
Is that how the code reads?
Well, it says that the office is closed.
Okay.
If it falls on a holiday, which the second actually is. New
But the
Year's
holiday
Day
is actually the first.
But the observation of it though is the second.
Okay.
Because it's on a Sunday. So we would have to do it the 3rd of January, which would be the next day. And then the 9th would be Monday, which we would do the organizational meeting.
Inventory.
Inventory meeting, that's right. Yes.
Okay.
So who's in violation? Suffield and Randolph?
Now Randolph and Deerfield.
Yeah,
See how they did it.
We don't have anything to do with them. They can figure it out.
Deerfield doesn't have zoning either. Jeez. Oh, well.
That's their issue.
Yep, not
I don't
ours.
want to turn anybody in.
I'm not either.
So we need to change that motion that we had out there at the organizational meeting. So
Okay.
if we just want to axe that one and do another one.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion. So we have the organizational on January 2nd, January 3rd.
At what time?
8 a.m.
Is that good? January
What
3rd,
time?
8 a.m.
8 o'clock, okay, gotcha.
And then also the second part of the motion will be that we have our inventory meeting on the 9th
Yes, which is a Monday.
at 8 a.m.
Okay, we have a motion. I'll second that. Any discussion? All right.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes?
Nick,
Yes?
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed, thanks.
Okay.
So just as an FYI for the department heads, if you could just bring your preliminary inventory to that meeting so that it can be turned in on the 9th.
You want it on the 3rd? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they took the.
Okay, so we can look at it.
Or no. Well,
Because if inventory is due on the 9th for an inventory meeting, we have to have the inventory prior to the meeting.
okay,
Correct.
let's do that at the organizational meeting. Can you guys get it by the 3rd? Greg?
Yeah, should be. We want it by the 3rd.
Yeah. So just bring those to the organizational meeting and then we'll pass them out, then we can pass them on the 9th.
Do we want to get them sent to us so we can start perusing them when you get them done?
If you guys want to email them, I mean, I don't know if you guys have those.
Or whatever. It's all good.
We'll officially accept, but we can't officially accept until the 3rd.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, both are 8 a.m.
I feel like I'm a newscaster.
That's all, you know.
All right. All right, anything else for zoning and economic development? All right, hearing none, we'll move into road department.
Alrighty. I'm gonna need board approval for a change order. From what, like Mike Collins and them was all discussing here about the OPWC grant. We passed a motion. Well, I need to move to amend motion number 2022-321. The change order one contract with Winters Excavating from $35,575.75 to $38,575.25 for the Howell Road culvert replacement project. There was a little mathematical error and we were off 3,000, so I need to amend that. Change.
You got a motion written for that?
I don't yet, but we'll just use this one, so if you just,
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to amend the motion number 2022-321 for the contract with Winters Excavating from $35,575.75 to $38,575.25 for the Howe Road Culvert Replacement Project 2021.
Second.
anybody have any questions on that?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passes.
Alrighty, thanks. That way we can button up this project's paperwork. Just some, let you know, we did some coal mixing of some burn ways that were really settled down. That way we're ready for the snow posses, the trucks don't hook tires. We got our road signs in and we replaced them all that we had out there.
Hey, Dave, did you get a chance to look and see if you could get some of those park entrance signs?
I haven't got into that yet.
Okay.
I mean, I glanced at the book, I'd have a special order.
Okay.
So,
Can I see if you could give them your guesstimate on how many we need? Police?
I guess, yeah. One.
Sure, more than one.
But yeah, we replaced, there was 11 road street signs that we replaced throughout. Of course, as soon as I get them in, I get calls this one week, so starting a new list. Right now, we just did some leaf cleanup at the shop, park, and the cemetery. We did some grave and foundations fix-ups in the cemetery. Removed all the soldier marker flags. Did a bunch of cleaning up down there, getting ready for the winter. Still working with county on some of the paperwork for these projects right now, Butternut Ridge, Cascades, Howe Road, which hopefully they're all coming to completion by the next meeting. We put a few things away after the Christmas lighting ceremony. We picked the boards up that we had out for the walkway, put picnic tables away, tents, that kind of stuff. Just cleaned up the area a little bit. Now it's just decorations. Just an FYI, I mean, I can bring this up to let you all know. I did talk with ABC Leaf Pickup about how they do Franklin Township, just to give you an idea of like what the quotes are, what they kind of could, what the prices were this year for stuff. So the problem is, it's not cheap, but here we go. So Cost would be around $4,000 to $5,000 a day for them to be here to start picking up leaves, which would average out between 50 and 75,000 a year. Like I said, this is this year's prices. It could be different next year because the price of manpower is going up. They would like to have a multi-year contract, because what happens is, say we would step into this project to do, they would have to order a new machine. So that way they have enough machines for the areas of the contracts. They would have to buy a new machine, but the problem is it takes a year for the machine to come in. Right now, everything's so slow. Like I said, if somebody cancels an order, they can get one quicker, but it's just one of them ideas. They could not start the township again because of the machine until 2024, but they might be able to do a test run in 2023. So where they just go out one time, maybe go through, see how it goes. They would break the township down into 4 different zones and do 2 different leaf pickups. Like they would do one zone and do the next ones, and then say 2 weeks later, they'd start zone 1 again and do a second time, and then that would be it. So, again, this is kind of, we decided to move forward. Franklin Township, how they, like he said, being a good person to talk to the fiscal office about how things work pay-wise and that kind of stuff. And again, like I said, the price is pretty much, as of right now, next year it could be 75 or 100,000. You know, you don't know but it is pretty much a breakdown of $4,000 to $5,000 a day. Say if they would run into a big, here, the cost could even go higher than that. It's pretty much broken down per day. So.
When they broke it down into quadrants, I mean, did that include all the roads? I mean, or
It's every road in Brimfield.
so could we just say the allotments?
You could, but I don't, some of the allotments, we don't have nothing in them. I mean, there's really nothing there. I mean, so.
Well, I mean, can we just tag, do we have to do the whole township, or can we just tag the allotments we want to do it in?
I would have to say you have to do everything, because they are all residents of Brimfield, so it'd be hard just to tag down I mean, this even includes 43. I mean, people might have 10 trees there. It'd be hard to break it down just one.
Could you ask them if we'd be able to do it that way?
Well, I'm asking a question right now, actually, because we do lighting assessments for street lights in certain areas certain developments that have lights. But we don't charge everybody else, but the leaf would be everybody.
Well, I know I spoke with Franklin Township, one of their trustees, to talk about the program, to see what solutions and how they run their program. They currently do everything, but the way they fund it is they had a very small levy, and that levy fund comes in, and that levy is what paid for it. That's how they've always done it. They used to collect the levy fund through the recycling fee, but it was actually a separate levy. It wasn't a recycling piece. But they do the entire township, 2 pickups, and they have the 4 quadrants, just like he told you about. And he said that they're around $100,000 a year, and they got 32 miles of road, 36 miles of road. So
Again, the price, like I said, a lot of it breaks down to how long it takes.
Yeah.
So I mean, say they may go down and say, let's just say Sherman Road, and it takes them all day. Where they may go down Lynn Road or Loy Road, and it takes a day. So it all breaks down to how much they gotta, it takes to get down each roadway.
I think we do need to explore something, because, 15 years ago, there wasn't as many housing developments. As we get more of them, the question is, where do we put the leaves? We have more condensed area, more leaves, no property to put them on. And, I don't think a lot of housing developments are going to allow us to have some type of leaf storage in the back of our yard, creating, some type of compost pile. You can't burn them. It's illegal through the EPA to burn leaves. So what do we expect people to do with all this material?
Well, if I don't have a tree, why do I have to pay then for pickup?
Because you're part of the township.
It'd be the same argument of, I don't use recycling, why should I pay for recycling?
Well, yeah.
Right? I mean, it takes us back to the same question. So, but if we're seeing more and more housing developments come in, we got more houses coming, what do we do with the material? Looking for some type of solution. I think it's at least worth exploring.
It's worth exploring for sure. I don't know how I feel about any more levies, but
I want to find a way to do it without a levy. That's my concern. And that's why I reached out to them to see what the cost was. Is this something that we can start to build into our budget?
Well, we are a township and not a city.
Yeah, it's Franklin's Township.
That makes a difference.
But the thing with Franklin, they don't have, I don't know how much they pay for police and fire, because I think they use Kent, so I'm sure there's some kind of, they just don't have near the budget we do.
Yeah, the concern though is we add more houses, what do you do with all the leaves? It's not like we have 10-acre plots all throughout the township anymore. We kept doing the more condensed places. Where do we put the leaves at?
I mean, on that aspect, a lot of the newer allotments, I could say they don't have many trees left when they're done built, redoing the groundwork. So it's a toss up. I mean, I don't know the best answer for it. I mean, I know for a fact, personally, we don't have time. The
Yeah.
department themselves, there's no way.
I think you have to outsource it. There's no way to ask.
Well, and that's, like talking to these guys, I mean, they are the company that does mow our cemetery, and you see they come in, they get the work done. I mean, it's not, they can go around dragging their feet because it's just, they're a hardworking company, so.
John, we don't have to accept bids if we put it out, right? So we could put a bid packet together and say, hey, let's put it out. Let's let ABC and a couple other companies bid on it, see what the price point looks like, and give us some hard numbers to work with as an option.
I'd like to say, I mean, I hate to say it this way, they're about the only ones I know of. I don't know leaf companies. I mean, I know Scott's, they'll go around to people's properties. If you rake them, they'll pick them up for you, but.
We'll put them in the middle of the road. We'll put them in the middle of the
Yeah,
road.
put them in the middle of the road or in ditches. But, I mean, it's one of them, a lot of times landscapers, they come through, they have their own things, but
I mean,
they
they're
do a whole township, I think. I don't know who to go, who you look at. Or them
If we
say,
put it out to bid and they're the only ones that bid, that's no problem either.
Right.
But it could do.
But it gives us some numbers to work with.
Do a roll-off dumpster. And people can bring their leaves to the dumpster and throw it.
That's a lot of leaves though, when you think about that, fill that up. Have you ever seen the shrub area up there at Plum Creek where they block that off now because it's so packed in there?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and you go to the Brimfield aggregate where the cities are dumping, it's Kent, Thomas. We pick up from our areas that we take there. I mean, there's such a mountain of leaves. It's unbelievable.
I mean, we could have some benefits for your ditches. I mean, all
Well,
the leaves,
that
on
would
the
have-
beach grass, how much everything just gets stuck. So,
That's if they clean them up though.
Well, but if they're going down the road,
They
cleaning
can
all
suck
the
them
leaves
all
up, so
Right,
that's
right.
cleaning our ditches out a
Even
little
if the
bit.
residents did put their leaves out, they would still suck out the ditches.
and then you gotta get everyone to make sure they do it, because you're gonna have those people that
Well, that's
both
the thing.
times, and then they'll,
Say if zone one's November 20th and 21st, if you're not there, you missed it. It's
Well, the way Franklin did, they do it, it takes 2 weeks to do the entire township and then they come back
right.
and do it
The
again.
Second time.
So that you
but-
get the 2 times to put the notices out.
By talking with Gary and stuff, like he said, there is residents still, they'll come try to catch them. Hey, I didn't know this was happening, even though they've done it twice,
Yeah.
Right.
Put their leaves out and want them to come back, which,
Well, and you're gonna have that, and we do the best we can. We put it on our postcard, we put it on the website, put it on social media, let the HOAs know, and at least you attempt it. But I think it's worth exploring and trying to put a bid packet together just to see what the cost would be for our township.
yeah, cause like he mentioned, it doesn't go by miles of road, it goes by, this is more amount of leaves what he picks up.
Yeah. And that, I just asked Franklin what their mileage was to get us in that ballpark of where we would be.
Oh, no, that's, yeah, we kind of compare a little bit apples to apples. 'Cause, like I said, there is stretch of roads that there's nothing there but 3, 4 houses.
Right.
Then there's the next stretch, there's 20 houses and there's mountains, leaves everywhere, so. That was just a little FYI on that, I figured I'd get on that before I forgot about it again.
Uh,
How do we go about getting that out for bid, John? Is that something your office will handle?
Yeah, we just have to put a proposal together, so if we can. I'm talking to Chris right now. but-
I mean, like I said, I don't know, quote unquote, would it be better to talk like the fiscal office of Franklin and see how they do it, and that way,
We can get their contract and everything, and that way we
Right.
can bid it, spec it out based on that.
that would probably be the easiest bet. Is to do it that way, get where something else has been going on for a few years. And trying to throw something together ourselves, and also we say you gotta have them within 5 feet of a road, but the truck needs them within 3 feet of the road or something, you know, so.
Right. Okay. Thank you for looking into that.
And then just one more little FYI, it's just some, I haven't heard nothing really from Charles anymore about the bill for the road garage here lately. I mean, he's still working on numbers and that kind of stuff, so. And then see if the building would fit into the imprint of the 2 point, what acres I got over there, 5 acres? Or, yeah, 2.5 acres. Just a question I wanted to ask the board though on that is, I'd like to get that whole lot surveyed. I know it's Brimfield Township. My main concern is the west side of the property where it's up by the person's house from our road garage. That way we don't say go and take a bunch of trees down that are on their property.
I think that's a great idea.
So, because it is a kind of a weird pie shape up in that area. It kind of dive bombs in and dive bombs in again. So I just want to make sure we're on property boundaries, even what we're looking at, if we got to twist the building or something like that.
And that'll help the whole project, so.
Right. Well, and then we can,
We'll make a motion to get it, but we'll have to get some prices. Or,
But we just, not, you don't need to make a motion. If it's over $5,000, he can, if it's under that, he can.
so you just, who'd we use last?
well, we use Mike Woolman. That's who I've used to check some easements and stuff for me.
Were you gonna contact him then?
I can get a hold of him
Okay,
and
good.
see if he has time to do that. I mean, it's
Well,
just like,
we need to know the boundaries.
well, and I just feel a little safer because if you start looking up through here, because I was kind of looking the other day to clean up some of the brush even. There's a bunch of, vines and stuff where we went in there, but I just don't want to get the neighbor's property. There's a bunch of fence posts that kind of cut clear across the property and it kind of throws you off. So I just want to see where we're at. So,
What was the estimate on the,
3.1.
3.1 million.
And then if you would add the salt dome to it around 350, you're back to almost 3.5.
It's the same kind of building that ODOT's putting up.
so what's the plan to run a levy to pay for it?
You know, we're not to that phase yet. I doubt it. If we can do it without a levy,
How would we,
John and I have been talking, so
because I know,
we're just too early.
okay, well, I'm just trying to figure out the funding piece of it, how we would make that happen.
I don't think these taxpayers can take any more levies right now.
Right, well, that was my concern when I had heard that the road piece, I know we need the garage, but it's just how we're gonna fund it without doing a
You know,
levy.
just so everyone is aware, I mean, the EPA is still, we have issues out there.
Right.
And it has to be addressed. So that's why I don't want to wait till they hit us again. We got to be going. We got to start making some moves. And if we don't check into this, do our due diligence, we're never going to know whether we can do it or we can't do it.
Right.
So, I mean, the road department needs something, period. So when we get more stuff, we'll bring it back to the board. Yep.
Because it all comes down even if the footprint of the thing can even fit.
Yeah, it's surveyed.
Right, it may not even fit in the area we're looking at, so it could change a lot, so.
Right.
You want me to give Charles a call or? He called me last week, but I didn't get a chance.
In all honesty, I don't, like you said, I don't know where he's at on it. I was just thinking more of the survey part, because even quote unquote say we don't use it for that aspect. Some of these wild bushes that are in there, I need to get them out of there too for people to walk trails if there's trails in there. So I just want to make sure I'm not over pulling the neighbor lady stuff down and that stuff. So plus we want to know where we can put trails on that part, if all the other stuff falls through.
I really like the parks, and Cassie's thoughts on, this being the recreational park and, and so many other beautiful assets in this township. So I'm going to, okay, Dan.
All right, well,
I can ask-
my report.
I can ask Charles on Friday, because he's meeting at the library. Cassie, I sent you the email on that too. Okay. All right, anything else for road department?
The guys have a JED meeting at 9:30.
Right.
All right, Parks and Rec.
Okay, I'd like to thank the police department for letting us sit in on your CPR training. Thank you. Aaron and I both attended that, so we will be CPR certified, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time, so glad that is taken care of. We had the Hometown Christmas rescheduled event on Thursday the 1st. I think it went pretty well considering the last minute changes and being on a weeknight. We got pretty good attendance and very good weather, so that was nice. The Tour of Lights Holiday Lighting Contest, voting is open now, and that will be open until January 2nd. So go and drive and look at the lights and vote when you have time. We are winding down on our programs for the year. We kind of take it easier in like January and February so you can work on program planning. So that's what we're doing right now. We're working on our 2022 year-end report. We're putting together our budget items for 2023, and we're doing program planning. We're working on our calendar for the full year. And I would like to propose dates for Brimfest 2023. I'd like to hopefully vote on those today so I can start looking at things for next year's Brimfest. We looked at the calendar, and it looks like Balloon Affair next year is the September 14th through 17th. And then the weekend prior to that is the Brimfield, Oktoberfest. Yeah. So we're looking at moving it to the 22nd and 23rd, Friday the 22nd and Saturday the 23rd.
Okay, so you want a motion then?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion, the positive for moving the Brimfest dates to 9/22 and 9/23. Just need a second.
I'll second for discussion. Did we check with the school just to see what the school calendar is, if that's gonna be homecoming weekend or not?
Yeah, that was the one thing that, they hadn't had that date set yet, but I can check.
Yeah, I just hate to see homecoming game land on Brimfest weekend.
Right. Wasn't that kind of like an anomaly last year that it was so early? I didn't even know it was a normal, like, in
That
October.
was, homecoming was earlier last year.
Yeah.
But if we're pushing this later, then will we run into that same thing?
All right, if it goes back to normal October homecoming stuff, then you're in that vicinity at the end of September, October.
I can double check on that.
Okay, any others?
All right, we have a motion on the floor to set the date. I would say I'm good with the date, just tentatively based on homecoming.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And the only other item is I will be out of the office the 26th through 30th, for holiday vacation. And that is all.
Okey-dokey.
Any questions for Parks and Rec? All right, hearing none, we'll move into cemetery. There's no business. Any comments or updates on cemetery?
No.
Very good.
Hearing none, we'll move into fiscal. We have new business liquor permit.
We need to make a motion to request a hearing at the Board of Liquor Control for OHM Services LLC in Columbus regarding their new license. I did look at, it's Holiday Inn,
Okay.
and it's a C, so it's a beer wine.
What's the name of the company?
It's for Holiday Inn.
Holiday.
OHM Services LLC is who they are, but that address that they have is actually looked it up, it's the Holiday Inn.
New permit for
I'm making a motion in the positive, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion in the positive that we approve, that we are not requesting a,
No.
No, that we are requesting.
that we are requesting a public hearing.
Liquor control for OHM Services Inc. in Columbus regarding the new Holiday Inn C license.
Okay.
I will second that for discussion. You said it was OHM?
Yes, Services LLC.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that?
No.
All right, roll call?
All those in favor, Mike,
No.
Nick,
No.
Sue,
No.
motion fails. Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else for fiscal? All right, hearing none, we do have an executive session. Before we go into executive session, we'll open up the floor for the good of the township. Any comments from the public? All All right, hearing none, I would like to make a motion to move to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G for the purposes of considering the following manners. Number 4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. This will be for the board, fiscal officer, and police departments. Need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
And we're adjourned to executive session at 9:13 a.m.
She said that.
Sue.
We both just the same.
Sue. Craig's calling you.
Who gets this?
Just hand it back to Roy. We already had one filled out.
Oh.
Just need an extra.
I've never been in here.
I didn't know you.
Well, we started it a bit ago.
Yeah.
It's gone over pretty good, because when we bought this, we bought 17 more acres to increase green space.
All right, we're back out of executive session and on live. Coming out of executive session, I'd like to make a motion to accept the contract between Brimfield Township and the police sergeant's 3-year contracts. Need a second for that.
I will second that.
Any discussion on the contract? No. All right, roll call for acceptance of the
Okay, all
contract.
those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, anything else for the good of the township? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
You're adjourned at 9:24.
All right, thank you so much.
And this one starts at 9:30.